Hey, welcome to another episode of Closing the Gap, the truth about black wealth. Of course, I'm here, your host, Mr. Wilbur Hamilton, along with my co-host, Mr. Eddie Richardson. Today we got a very special episode, man. I'm excited about this one. I can't say I hadn't been this excited for an episode in quite some time because I'm excited for all of them. But this one is definitely special because it's, I think, our first one out and about. Featuring a highly successful brother here in the Birmingham, Alabama area. And also he happened to be one of the good brothers of the Kappa chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity incorporated, the greatest fraternity in the world. So, I gotta, make sure I always throw in that shameless plug.
And he
So
made sure you wore that too. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just representing the midst of these guys.
well, like I said, a great man told me a long time ago. He said, you know what, don't let the frat I recognize the one that was created in 1911. So, we gonna co-sign them boys and let them have a little fun too. But
It's good to see somebody that actually plays you too. Cause I'm looking at your flashback. Like,
so
oh,
we
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 gonna let
gonna
that word.
so we gonna keep that on the low. I ain't participated in no illegal illicit activities. I have no recollection of any events that were not sanctioned by the Kappa chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity
I like
Incorporated. So
That's a great disclaimer right there.
yes, sir, yes,
Beautiful
sir.
disclaimer.
But I'm definitely excited to learn more about you. I'm one of those people that super observative. Like I said, I was always taught as a man I listen more than the talk. I always watch the surroundings, and you know, um, I'm not impressed by a lot of people. I'm one of those the people that I like to see, actions speak more than words for me. So for me, even then, I've always kind of looking around and respected certain brothers in the chapter. I can't say more than others, but I'm gonna say more than others because for me, of course, I come from an era and kind of come from a cloth where it's about achievement in every field of human endeavor. But I can't say with full confidence that his brother, Mr. Brandon Mason,
Man, I
he
appreciate
definitely
that.
exemplifies that.
Yeah.
Because even then he was focused.
Yeah.
I knew he was focused. He had a path, he had a dream, had a vision of what he wanted for his life, and you know, Kappa or anything else, nothing got in the way of that.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of impressed by that. I know I ain't never shared with
Hey, man, I'm
but
catching all this for the first time.
yeah, but I was definitely watching. I was definitely watching.
It
So
was different than when you were playing.
hey,
I appreciate
hey,
it.
different role and responsibility at the time, So,
That's
but
all
I,
right right there.
but I was definitely watching. So I'm one of those people. I like to see brothers that focus. They weren't deterred and didn't get caught up in all the perks and the
Right.
bonuses that may come along with being associated, affiliated, and of course, joining, the illustrious chapter
Say it one more time.
of the Gucci. The chapter so nice they named it twice. So
Landing on them heavy tonight.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Now the crazy part about it is like you said, staying focused on one area, and the crazy part about it is I'm doing something totally different
Yeah,
than I did back then. Most people wouldn't straight up change their whole career mid life.
yeah.
And that took a lot to do that. So
Oh well, no, we definitely. Well, I want to know how it happened because I always, of course, heard about you, of course, being heavily involved in the film and movie area. And like I said, we all know you moved away.
yeah,
And like I said, you're in California, so I always heard, oh man, Brandon, he's doing this, he's doing that, and I always knew you just had a successful brother.
yeah,
Period. I didn't know. I obviously know you well. I knew of you, we knew who you were, but I'm not one of those guys that's really invasive,
yeah,
in people's lives and lifestyles and whatnot. I just like to appreciate and admire kind of from afar, but
yeah,
I always knew you were successful, but of course, hearing that you're back here,
yeah,
okay, well, kind of what's going on,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
of course Ed has definitely brought to my attention a lot more, and of course, and I've been speaking with him about I got to get more involved to get my golf game together,
Yep.
but I definitely can't go on that golf course and I ain't right. So and he said, well, definitely you got to go talk to the man right here. So
That golf course will expose you.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to make sure I spent some time personally get myself together, but just find out more about you, man, and kind of what just brought you back to Birmingham, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a long story. I'll keep it as short as I possibly can. But like, I grew up doing filmmaking. That's all I ever knew. Sort of from a young age all the way to like 15. That's all I did was take photos, and I got into the music video scene real heavy. And then I kind of pride myself on a lot of that stuff that I did like back then too, cause I wasn't no young black kid doing no stuff like that. Like I was 18, shutting down streets, pulling permits, had a full on LLC at 18,
Mm.
it was legit back then. And like just just some of the stuff. You know, a lot of the artists was local artists, but I was trying to paint them in a national light. You know what I'm saying? Giving it all I had. You know, and yeah, it was fun times back then. But I always knew I wanted to kind of get more into the film industry and like, you know, even when I got to California, that took on a whole nother life within itself because I moved into the commercial arena, you know, and that's when I started realizing I'm like, oh, okay, it's different levels of money out here. Like,
Oh yeah.
people think the movies is like the ticket, but like the commercials pay the bills, you know, like real bills too. So, um, when I graduated from UAB, I worked here for a local CW affiliate, CBS and Warner Brothers affiliate, and I was a creative service producer. I did that for a while, like 4 or 5 years, but I still ran my company on the side. Beautiful part about it, like a market like Birmingham, which you probably can still be like this right now, but a market like Birmingham, man, I was making the commercials, but I was serving as the advertising agent too.
Oh.
So that's when I started getting into a different type of money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, oh, okay.
Two
So
checks.
two checks.
There you go.
So I'm like, oh, I'm making the commercial, but then I'm making sure they air at the times they need to air on, and I'm putting them in the spots that they gonna get the most traction in, and making sure I do everything on that end. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm getting two checks. So I'm working full time. And they make me sign a non-compete, so I'm working full time. Got my business on the side. Got two chicks. Got a house. Got at that time, you know, I stayed in Roebuck. Roebuck, what the Roebuck that it is now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I had my house, 2 cars, G35, swimming pool in the back, throwing parties. It was fun time, but I knew it still wasn't what I wanted to do. And I'm the type of person like, no matter what the situation looked like, I give all of it up and start all over again. That's just my personality, you know what I'm saying? Put me in the wilderness, I'm gonna go hunt, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I met my ex-wife now, but at that time my wife, she was traveling nursing and stuff like that, and she was just all over the place. Like she went locked down nowhere. And then she was like, you always talk about leaving Birmingham. You should leave Birmingham. I'm like, where we gonna go? She was like, we can go to California. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you all over the place. You know what I'm saying? She was like, we'll make it work. And then I was like, it just hit me. I was like, you know what? Man, let's do this. So I literally packed up everything, sold everything. I sold, no, I didn't even sell everything in my house. I left everything in the house. I sold the house as is, furniture, TVs on the wall, everything. I sold it with everything in there. I got rid of I had a big old Avalanche. I knew I didn't want to take that to Northern California. Got rid of my Avalanche and got a 2010 Nissan Maxima off the showroom floor. They had no miles on it. It's still out there in the parking lot right now, 14 years later or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I went out to California with just what could fit in that car and myself, and like started over, and then got awakened really quick because that's a totally different market than it is down here, and like it was different because now I was the small fish in the big pond again. So I was like, well, just like anything else, just hit the ground, grinding,
Go to
running.
work.
And I just started going out. I started volunteering on stuff. I started putting my name out there. I I knew my skill set, but bro, I started doing stuff like PA work. I was like, I did second assist director on Planet of the Apes, and just keep 100. You think second assistant director? You like, oh yeah, this second assistant director. That's like kind of like grunt work in the film industry a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't terrible. It's like grunt work. So I did that, and then I was like, man, like maybe I'll just go back to school. Like just stock up some more. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to go back to school, and I enrolled at the Academy of Art in San Francisco, which is totally different. Not the Art Institute, like the Academy of Art, founded in 1919, like a legit like art school. And I started going back for film and broadcasting, and I did that, and I got a master's of fine art in directing motion picture. But more importantly, when I was in film school, I learned that it's less about the degree, and it's more about making a real movie. You know what I'm saying? So I made a short film that won a bunch of awards: the San Diego Black Film Festival, Sidewalk Film Festival. I won like 5 film festivals with that with that film. It had Ruben in it. It had a whole bunch of actors that's now doing pretty big stuff. Toby was in it.
Okay.
And Toby on Nickelodeon now and doing all this other stuff. So
What was the name of it?
God, What is the name? Dang, you caught me off guard with that. Hold on, what's the name of my?
Hey, because we trying to go back and check it out, man.
gotta
See
go.
if it's on something.
You know
We'll
what?
come back to it. We'll come back
Cause
to it. We'll come
that
back
lets
to
you
it.
know how much golf took over my life.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a big deal, and for him to say, "What's the name of the film?" I'm like, "That it's called States." Lord, have mercy.
Okay.
Stakes. It's called States.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a, it's got an IMDb page.
Okay.
It's like you can
Alright.
Google it. It's probably on. It's on YouTube now. I think I ain't getting no check from it today because I didn't monetize it, but I just put it out there for the world. After I won all those awards,
You served its purpose.
I just put it. It did its purpose. It was my graduating film and the whole nine. And then after that, man, I linked up with some good guys out in California, man. And man, they brought me on board, and I freelanced for them guys for a long time. So they finally talked me into coming in full time or whatever. And Carl and Sean, and they just, they kind of helped me take my career to the next level. And they like, "Oh, B, you're a great director, but you're a producer, bro." Like, I'm like, "I don't want to produce, man. I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying?" Because producing is different on that level. Like, now I'm counting the money,
More
I'm
responsibilities.
cussing people out,
Yeah.
I'm negotiating deals all day long. So I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I started producing. Now I'm like, dang, I like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'd never been a control freak. It wasn't no control thing, but it was like, if I didn't move things correctly, the production didn't move correctly.
Well, I think a lot of people, that have the work ethic you have. So
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a control freak until people work with me and they tell me I'm a control freak.
Right.
But when you should just get stuff done.
Yeah.
You see something need to be done and you do it regardless of what work it is, whether it's sweeping the floor, whether it's, hanging a picture, whether it's, working with the client, whether it's building a club, whatever it is, you're going to take it on your shoulders to go ahead and get it done. So the biggest thing that I think that, I want people to take away just from what you've said so far is that you weren't afraid of the work.
Yeah.
You weren't afraid of the grind. A lot of people, they want the reward, but they're not willing to put in the work that it takes to receive the reward. And I'm a big proponent, and I tell this all the time. I say, look, I feel like life gives everybody at least one opportunity. But I feel like your hard work and your attitude can give you and create more opportunities for you to be successful. Because so many people, they just sit there and they wait for that one chance. I'm like, no, you can create more chances by working hard, because when people see you working hard, people don't mind being associated with someone they know going to work hard. Like, you're not going to make me look bad because I know you're going to work hard. Even if you don't know what you're doing all the time, the fact that you're working hard tells me that I can correct those actions and get you on the right path to doing the work the right way. So having that, I think, takes you a long way. And we'll see you back in here in a couple seconds.
And I go light a whole set. And I was doing big lighting jobs too. Like, I'm talking about, I'm bringing in 20Ks and like, you gotta definitely know. Film school helped me out with that as far as like knowing electricity and voltage, wattage, amperage, and all that stuff. So like, I wired some of the stuff up in the video. Like,
So I'm gonna say it right there. Hey, school is important. So don't let nobody tell you that school is not important. Now, not going to school and taking advantage of the opportunities while you in school, that's more so our problem than anything else. So all these people talking about you don't need to go to college. College ain't beneficial. No, it ain't beneficial if you going and you don't have a specific area or expertise that you focusing on, and you don't utilize that skill set when you leave. But obviously, as Brandon said, it benefited him.
It benefited me a little. It benefited me 50-50. Cause it's funny you say that, cause I play devil's advocate a little bit. School different now. Like back then we didn't have YouTube University, right?
Well, yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that they teach in school, bro, you can go find this stuff on the internet.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But we can do.
We have that access.
Yeah, like even in the early days of me shooting film, like, bro, you had to like know what you were doing. It wasn't no, hey, roll that back. Let me check that. Let me check to see if the audio good, or let me check and see if the camera. Let me see if the lighting right. Like, no, you got a light meter. You get your f-stops and stuff, and you trusting that what you see is what's happening, and you get that film emotion back, and it get developed, and you look at it like, oh God, all my stuff bright white. I didn't blow everything out, So it made me craft images back then totally different. You got to be spot on it. And the same thing, I just moved that junk into like everything else in life. Just got to be just got to be on it. Like even when I was out there, like man, like you said, I was around. I would be on set picking up stuff. It was the first time that I literally had somebody walk up to me and be like, "No, boss, don't touch that. Like, we get a PA to do it." And I'm like, dang, like they call me boss. Like you know, like I'm like I'm a boss. Like it was weird, man. But like then I started thinking, I'm like, nah, you kind of paid the cost to be the boss. Like you put in a lot of
Oh yeah.
work. You know exactly what you're doing, and yeah, this is how it is.
Yeah. Well, now honestly, that's definitely it's different when you because you don't see yourself no different.
No, man.
You see yourself the same, and you just trying to get the job done. But other people start to see you different. I think that's one of the signs that can tell you, how successful you become. Because I don't think you can really when you so focused on the work and just getting better, improving, getting it done. You can't really see your accomplishments
Even
because
now, I can't
you're
see
never
it.
satisfied.
Yeah.
Like my wife said me all the time, she's like, "Man, you ain't never happy." And I'm like, she's like, "When last time you been happy?" I'm like, "Well, you gotta be careful with your words on that one." You know what I'm saying? Like, but I understand what she means because I'm never satisfied with what I've done. Other people are like, "Man, you're doing good." And I'm just like, I don't see it because I see so much more. And of course, just like you probably looking at an industry that's so big
Yeah.
and doesn't have a lot of people that look like you in it. And you're
Bro.
looking at size and scale and things. And you like, I know my skill set is better than theirs.
Yo, bro.
I just need the opportunities that they've gotten to continue to build and grow. And that's what lights a fire, but also what holds me back sometimes because I'm get frustrated in my own mind, not happy with the success.
Even now, when I go on, I don't comment on Facebook. Like I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't comment on them. I don't comment on them, but like just reading some of them, like, oh, bro, like they'll be like, I need to get some clubs. Who I need to go to? They'll be like, oh, you gotta go to B Mason, like best in Alabama, period. Like these like stuff that I'm reading, like, oh no, just don't go to nobody else. Just go to Brandon. Like, just don't even think about nobody else. And I'm just like, and I sit back and read that stuff. I'm like, man, that's crazy. That like I don't even have to like promote my. I haven't. I think I told y'all I don't do any promotion. Period. I don't pay for promotion or nothing. Like I literally it's all word of mouth. Everybody that come in here word of mouth. From the day that I opened up this place, I said I feel like I know the Birmingham market. It's a word of mouth market. You can talk all day about what you can do, but if you can actually get people better and so my goal was like aggressive. I want my players to slaughter people. Like I want them to go out there and beat people down. And they look at it like, man, where you go? And they like, this is where I went. And that is what has started to happen. Like my players really get good, or people leave here with an amazing experience. And it's all about education. Because I tell people like, this is a gift. Like it ain't. This is a gift from God. I gotta look at the camera when I say it. This is a gift from God.
Yeah.
This ain't got nothing to do with me. Like I was in a whole different field. Like I got into golf because I started writing a golf movie. That's how I got into golf. Like in my road to it is super crazy. Like I got into golf. I started writing a golf movie. I realized I didn't know anything about golf. So then I was like, okay, you just need to buy some clubs and go out and just observe. So I'm out there doing like Meisner. So Meisner, if you ever went to film school, for all my film people, Meisner is like a theory where you embed yourself into the culture. You know what I'm saying? You figure out everything about that culture. Cause I didn't want to write a golf movie and get assassinated because it wasn't true to form.
It wasn't realistic. Yeah.
So I went out, bought some clubs. I went to my local community course. It's the equivalent to like Roebuck here in Birmingham or whatever. Went out to my local community course, and I didn't even hit for the first hour. I just sat there and just looked at people. Cause I'm very observant. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, well, I got these clubs and these balls. I might as well hit some balls. And I was out there hitting, and I was like, okay. And I was making good contact too. Like most people can't hit a golf ball. And I was making good contact, and I was like, man, I'm out there looking like I know what I'm doing. The dude in the stall next to me, dude in the stall next to me, like, how long you been playing? I like, this is my first day. He like, oh, you've been playing your whole life. And I'm like, I told him, I said, I'm visual, so, I watch enough golf swings that, like, I just kind of emulate what they do. And then, but when I was out there, I was like, this ain't how I want my film to be. I want my film to be, like, tournament-based with a country club feel and all this other stuff. So, I need to go to a PGA tournament or something like that. Then I sat there and I was like, no, I need to play in a tournament. So, my dumb self, I went and I got in the tournament. Had only been playing golf for 1 week. paid to get into a tournament, and not like a regular tournament, like a legit like tournament. I fabricated my handicap and everything. I remember the course, Ruby Hills Country Club in Northern California. It was a country club. I went and got into the tournament. I was out there. Them boys were hitting that thing, and I was like, I went out there and I looked the part. I played the part. I don't know, maybe I was still in my film world, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? This is how I really get the good juices I need for my movie. Yeah, mine. I'm in it. Like I'm there.
In character.
Yeah. I'm in character. I go out there. I'm talking to people. They're like, welcome. Would you like to join the skins game? It's $200. Blah blah blah. They was telling me I ain't know nothing about no skins game. I ain't know nothing they was talking about. I just gave them another. I already gave them like 500. I just gave them another 200. I'm like, yeah, I want to be the skins game. Blah blah. Like I go out there. Oh, we got your bucket and your name is by your stall. That's what you warm up at. Dudes out there, they got Cal bag. I see somebody with a Cal Bear bag. I see somebody else with like a junior college bag. Like these boys out here, they sticking. They know what they doing. It still didn't hit me at that point. You know what I'm saying? So then I go out and I go to the first tee, and it was like 30 people on the first tee. And anybody who do anything with amateur golf know that like 30 people on the tee, cause nobody go look at amateur golf. Period. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, like 30 for an amateur tournament, 30 people on the. Some of these people were members at the club, I think, but like 30 people on the tee, it's like a big deal. So I'm like, okay, cool. It still ain't really sink in. So then I get up there, hey, from Oakland, California, Mr. Brandon Mason. I'm like, ooh, that hit different right there.
Yep.
So I go into the tee box. Now my hand kind of shaking a little bit, but I channel that junk in, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I go up there, like, I'm giving y'all play-by-play now. Like, the other 4 dudes in the group, good to meet you, good to meet you. You swap your card with him, he swap his card with you. You keep his score, he keep your score. Y'all all shake hands. Like, good playing, let's go, guys. So I go to the tee box. Well, first, 2 dudes hit. Both of them down the middle. Easy. Light work. Don't even look like they struggle. I get up there. I said, you got this, man. This ain't nothing. I be pumping myself up. I'm like, ain't nothing to a boss. Let's go. So then I get up there. I hit that thing down the middle. It was like 250 straight. Now they hit there like 300. But mine was 250 straight. It still got a clap. They got some claps. They were like, in my mind, I picked up my tee. I like, man, this ain't nothing. That's what I said. So then I'm in the fairway, chunked it. Like just laid the sod right over the ball. The ball dribbled like 5 feet. The rest of the round, in the toilet. My score, I shot a 138 in that tournament. The closest score to me was an 88. Out of a field of like 60 plus. So everybody found out about my stupidity. It was just dumb, it was just dumb. But it was interesting, but it was dumb. That was my intro into golf. Literally, that's my intro into golf. And then life became less about writing a movie and more about learning how to play golf. Because I got struck at that point. I was like, hold on, I ain't never letting them beat me up like this ever again. So then I went and got I went through several instructors, like 3 instructors. None of them really worked out, you know what I'm saying? And then one day I ran into this guy, Glenn Jarvis. Man, Glenn changed my world. The only reason I can even teach golf right now is because of Glenn. Glenn played in college. He played on the, at that time it was the web.com tour. And Glenn taught me how to play golf, bro. And he taught me how to play golf and taught me a lot about golf. But Glenn always told me, he was like, B, you got a high golf IQ, man. He was like, you see stuff that other people don't see. You catch on to stuff that other people don't catch on to. He was like, it's just different, man. He was like, you understand numbers. And that went on for a while. You know what I'm saying? He taught me how to play golf. I started playing some amateur events, won some amateur tournaments, and realized I don't like to play competitive golf because I was still making commercials. Like I was on and off planes. Like I got pictures with me and Steph Curry. I produced a Facebook spot with Steph Curry in it. I got pictures with me and Emmitt Smith. We did a project for Hager. Me and Claude the Pets or whatever. Like I was still making commercials, but I was practicing golf a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I got pretty good. And then I realized I don't want to play golf like this. And then, things happen in life. Start going through a divorce, And to keep from going crazy, I started teaching myself how to build golf clubs.
Mm.
So instead of dwelling in my marriage not going right, instead of letting that harp on me or just going out being a scumbag, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get with other women and stuff, I just channeled that energy, and I started making golf clubs. I started building golf clubs. I remember I told Glenn, I was like, Glenn, I want to build golf clubs. He was like, B, I taught you how to play golf. I don't even know how to build golf clubs. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, how you build golf clubs? He was like, it's one of them things where it's passed down to you. You work in the shop, you know. It's a trade. It's kind of like a secret society. You know, I was like, ain't gonna work out for me. You know what I'm saying? I got a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, always teach yourself. And that's when the light bulb went off. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna teach myself. So I got books the size of encyclopedias, and I just started reading them. You know what I'm saying? And then I started building golf clubs in the basement. The kid, my ex-wife was working at nighttime. The kids would be upstairs. I had baby monitors in the garage, but I was down there learning how to build golf clubs, and it just took off. I got real good at building golf clubs. It was like a skill. It came easy. I love to do it. It was something that I got to do with my hands, but then use math and all this other stuff that go with it. You gotta kind of have like an engineering mind in a way too. And it just worked. It was a way to be technical, but still be artsy at the same time. And the first time I built my first golf club, I took it out to the golf court, and I was like, I don't know what about to happen with this thing. The head might fly off, I don't know. And I went out there and I hit that thing, and I peered that thing, and that's when I said, this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? And it just took off. I started building a whole bunch of golf clubs for people. I became known as I know a guy. So as my divorce went on, I moved out the house, and I moved. When people get divorced, they do dumb stuff or whatever. I literally got divorced. I moved one exit down, just cause we had kids. I moved one exit down, got a whole nother house, and then I built a golf shop in the backyard. So I still got pictures with me and my daughter when she was helping me move wood and stuff. She was like, Zari probably like 4 years old, something like that. I don't know, but might have been younger than that. But we was out there. She'll be helping me out, and people just used to stop by the house, drop their clubs off. I was repairing stuff, fixing stuff. I was the man at the golf course. I go to the golf course. They were like, "Hey, can you fix this for me?" I used to walk 9 holes every morning with these 2 Asian women. And they were like, "Oh, Brenda." I gave them my phone number. Worst thing I could do in my life. I gave them my phone number, bro. They used to call me every morning at 4:30 in the morning. Every Tuesday, every Thursday.
They going to play.
"Oh, Brenda, you come play today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm coming." "Okay, we wait for you for a tee box." Dog. So golf introduced me to people who I never probably would have ever been introduced to.
Yeah.
And it just opened up a whole nother world that I never thought I would get in or whatever. And it's cool because now I actually get to help people get better at this hard game. You know what I'm saying? It's a skill. It's a skill and a gift. And I don't take it for granted. And it's a good thing. It changed my life.
Yeah, well, your gift make room for you.
Yeah. You know, it's like so now, when COVID hit, I was like, man, I remember I was on Zoom call, man, and Zaria ran across the back of the Zoom call with no clothes on and stuff, and everybody on the Zoom call and I'm looking like, what they looking? Then I look in the background and she running around butt naked and stuff, and it really was at that point where I was like, man, I'm gonna go back to Birmingham and open up a golf shop, cause it was gonna be a golf shop. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna make it a golf studio, make it more like kind of like exclusive, kind of homey, like basement type vibe or whatever. When people come in, they instantly feel comfortable type vibe. I'm gonna open up a golf studio, and it's gonna be a one-stop shop. And I called my mom, and I was like, hey, I'm moving back to Birmingham. She's like, why? I was like, ain't up in the quit my job. She's like, no, you ain't. Yeah. She's like, no, you ain't gonna quit your job. You foolish.
Yeah.
And then, my mama old school, too. So out of all the stuff she could talk about, she was like, what you gonna do about insurance? I was like, insurance? I was like, I don't know. Obamacare. I don't know. Shoot, something.
But I just told somebody a few minutes ago, I said, when I started my career, I told my dad, I said, man, you gonna give up for show money? for I don't know money. And when you said that, that's exactly because that's their generation.
That's that generation.
They want that security and that safety net, and
pension.
yeah, and we willing to take some chances.
I definitely took some chances. I had some money stored up. Now I'm like, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna dump it, and that's what it's about to be. And I dumped it all in here. And it's I always say it's several things that help me keep this place like afloat or whatever. And one of them is that like I didn't come into it with debt. It was all money that I stacked up, you know what I'm saying? And I was willing to deploy it on something. I was willing to invest in myself, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, but if I had came in here, I had to get a whole bunch of loans and all this, it'll probably be a little struggle for real. It's still a struggle now, but it'll be a real struggle.
Oh yeah.
So that's the story. It's a story of perseverance and just like keeping your head down and just believing in. I feel like all of us got a gift in us. Believing in your gift, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what road you're gonna go on, or you never know what life gonna take you. You just gotta go along for the ride.
What's the process of finding that gift?
Yeah.
You know, some people find that gift at different points in life. Like I found mine immediately after school. Well, I can't say immediately. I would say a couple of years after because I planned on obviously playing NFL. You know, got there, got hurt in camp one day. You know, first class ticket home. I went into depression. I mean, because I had all these grand dreams and ideas of doing things that, buying my mama house. My mama ain't need no house. My folks, they was okay. You know, so that came from a good home. But you have these things in your mind that you've like, okay, I'm gonna accomplish these goals. And when people see you, they always ask, man, who you playing with? What you doing? You know, what's the next steps? And so I had this goal and idea for myself of making it to the NFL, major economics and finance in college. Because when I get to the league, I'm going to take care of my own money. But then all of a sudden, that don't happen. And I'm like, man, what I'm going to do next? So I was literally, I tell you, it's so crazy. I was literally a weekend from being a football coach. It was 4th of July weekend. My father was coaching at the time. He was at Southside Selma. He was the head basketball coach there at the time. I actually went down and had already interviewed and met the coach. And I was going to come down. He said, oh, man, why don't you come down, join the staff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, I got to do something. Can't sit at home. Got to figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this job. I went down, did the only reason I didn't officially sign the paperwork because it was 4th of July weekend, and 4th of July fell on a Monday. And they have to, the board has to approve any new hires. So they delayed that meeting. Just so happened that Friday, my dad, that Thursday, my dad bumped into one of his former basketball players. He coached in high school. And he happened to be working at Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company at the time. And he bumped into my dad on Thursday afternoon in the bank. He was like, hey, man, what your son doing? He was like, oh, man, he's back here just trying to figure it out. Football ain't necessarily going the way he thought it was going to go. And he was like, you know what, tell him to come give me a holler. And I went to the meeting, and just so happened the general manager was in the office that Friday from Atlanta. He said, look here, if you average, you'll make double the money doing this that you would being a teacher and a coach. And I looked at myself and said, man, I ain't never been average at nothing. I don't believe in being average. Like average, I'm like, man, bro, hey, average. Hey, I got confidence in myself. You're competitive, athlete, whatnot. So I was like, you know what? I had $300 at that time. I paid $250 for the insurance license. I had $50. I had $50 left. And I said, I went home and told my dad, I said, I think I'm gonna take this chance. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see what happens. He's like, and that's what he told me. He said, man, you gonna give up for show money for I don't know money. And I was like, I'm gonna see what happened. And that was the best decision I ever made, next to marrying my wife. But that was the best personal decision I ever made because I took a chance. But it was all because God aligned that. He put that in my path because if it wouldn't have been that weekend, if my dad wouldn't have been at the bank that day, that meeting don't happen. I'm on a totally different path. We ain't sitting here right now. But, like I said, God had it for me. I fell into that career and, probably 2 years into it, I just realized I woke up one morning and I was like, man, I want you to teach people how to create generational wealth. And I just took it and I ran with it. But you never know what you're going to go through. And in your worst times, you know what I'm saying, that puts you in a situation where. The best thing, man, that I heard I want people to catch is how you channel your energy. and you use that situation not to destroy you,
Yeah.
but you channel that energy into something that's positive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To doing something to better yourself, and that thing you channeled your energy into has brought us here today. And 3BM Studios, I don't know no other studio like this in Birmingham, Alabama.
It ain't.
In
Alabama, period.
Hey, and I don't know. I definitely don't know other brothers that's doing it. So I'm definitely I know you're blessed and highly favored, man, and I'm just happy to be here, man, and thankful.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Like I love golf, man. Like and it ain't the fact that I just love. I don't play. Like I don't really go out and play. I'm in here working all the time. But I love seeing people get better. I love it when somebody hit it out the middle of the face for the first time, and they have that moment where they be like, when they look back at me like that, they're like, you did it. They're like, no, you did it, coach. I'm like, no, I didn't hit it. You hit it. I just gave you the path and the direction to hit it correctly. You hit it. You put the work in, so, and that's a good feeling because now I feel like I'm actually, when I was doing film, I was just making money. You know what I'm saying? But now I feel like I'm helping people. People come in here, they say, man, it's like my therapy when I come up with you. You know what I'm saying? They like, I get to take my mind off everything. I get to learn something and try to get better at it. And now I'm like, man, I'm really helping people. You know what I'm saying? And like that's when it, especially when you get older, because you start realizing you're like, okay, shoot, now I'm north 40. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you on a downturn now, bro. Like, what you gonna do? It's like, oh, you better start helping some people, and it really is gratifying, And it's just crazy, man. Like I say all this, say you never know what life gonna take you. Just be open, just be open to it. I met my wife up in here. She came. I ain't even have half this stuff built in here, and then she came in here with one of my friends, and they introduced us, and we started talking, and next thing you know, 2 years later, I'm married, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and, she get along with, and then, not getting off subject, but her and my ex, they get along great, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, the whole, like, co-parent, like, the whole co-parenting stuff, and, like, it is hope out there. We have to be open to let it happen. First, you got to get the hate out your heart, so whether you hate your ex or your ex hate you, you have to eradicate that, and then be open and know that like some stuff in life just don't work out. You know what I'm saying? But you can still co-mingle together. Some people have messed up situations because they holding on to old stuff and all that. It's like if it wasn't meant to be, let it go. You know what I'm saying? And it's better for the kids and everything. Like my kid was doing well out there because we both loved them and she was taking care of them and I was taking care of them. But like my kids, they love it. 2 households, like they get 2 of everything. Like sometimes they be pimping us, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, dog. Mitch would be like, oh, Dad, can I get this? And I'm like, I could have sworn your mama bought this. And I call his mom, I'd be like, hey, did you get him this shit? I bought him that. I'd be like, hey, bro, why you trying to pimp me, man? Like, I'm old school. Don't be trying to do me like that. You know what I'm saying?
So you had to kiss me first.
Right. So he tried to push the limits on what he can.
But with the golf studio, it's not a lot of people that look like me doing what I do, and I don't take that for granted. I have to set the tone for like what it should be like. I want you to come in here and get a better experience here than you'll get anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? I educate people real high. Golf one of them games where you can get pimped in golf, man. Like here, hit this club, and like they'll make you can make it where they'll hit it like 5 yards further, but it might not even be the right club for them. It's just your margins on that club so good. You like, let me flip this club, Well, me, I want to make money too, but like, I'll make money on the longevity. I got a situation right now where I had a guy come in here. He brought his wife. His wife brought that guy's brother's wife in. Then the wife brought the brother in. Now I got a whole family that I'm coaching, and now they gonna have kids. And like I might still be doing this when the kids come around.
Absolutely.
Now I'm coaching the kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah, you take care of people, people take care of you. I mean, all too often people forget that, you're in a service business.
You're in a service business.
You got to take care of people.
And people kill me because they like, I don't want to I don't want to work for anyone else. If you can't be a good worker, you can't be a good boss. Like you can't be a
Well, that's the name. Owning a company, you work for people.
Yeah,
I,
you
I,
working
I
for the
work.
people.
I work for my clients.
That's right.
And I
That's
think
right.
people miss that. I think people miss that part a little bit. It's like just because you're not working for a boss anymore, your client is your new boss.
Yes.
So how you can deal with one boss? How you gonna deal with a whole
I
bunch
have
of bosses?
multiple bosses.
Absolutely.
Man, I say
Absolutely.
that all the time in the barbershop. Like, I have multiple bosses. Everybody that comes in there tells me what to do.
Yep.
Because I have to service them.
Yep.
You know, and I have to make sure that they're pleased when I do it. So just like what you're saying here, just like with Wilbur, clients, they want certain things. Now, we're still the experts
Yep.
and guide them in
Yeah.
the correct way,
Yeah.
right? But still, they have certain goals and things that they want met, and we try to drive them to that.
Yeah.
You know, get them to that point.
And then it's like I tell myself every time, Brandon, you only great at the last customer that left here. If they didn't have a great experience, then it's all bad. So everybody that walked through that door, I'm trying to lead them. Like I used to work at back in college. You know, me and Bobo, we worked at T-Mobile.
Mhm.
We were flipping them phones. Bobo worked at 5 1. I was in the mall. He hated that. He was like, all you do is sit in the mall and holler at the girls all day, blah, blah, blah. But I was in the mall. We both worked at T-Mobile, but they used to always be, it's funny. You learn skill. The more jobs you have, the more skills you learn and stuff like that. They used to always be like, you need to wow the customer. To this day, much as I hate to say it, in the back of my mind, from working at T-Mobile, I still be like, you need to wow the customer, Brandon. Like when people leave, they need to be wowed.
Absolutely.
They need to be like, I had a great freaking time.
Well, I think is that attention to detail.
Yeah.
So, and my dad always say when he was coaching, kids don't want to know how much you know until they find out how much you care.
Yeah.
So, knowing that your clients, letting them know that you care, and you care about them and their experience, they appreciate you more, they listen more, they pay attention more, so they get more out of it. So for me, I try to take that same approach every time because I have people tell me, say, man, the same way you help me, man, make sure I'm referring my friend over to you, man, make sure you take care of him just like you take care of me. I'm like, what I did for you, I do for everybody. You didn't get anything different. It's just you want the experience to be so good. You want them to feel like, hey, man, make sure you do the same thing for my partner that you did for me. I'm like, no. I'm going to give everybody I come across the absolute best that I have every single time. I'm going to go above and beyond every single time because, much like you said, I never know what this situation is going to lead me to. I don't know who this person is going to bring through my door. So I treat every customer that walks in, every client that walks in, whether they got $5 or $5 million, I'm still giving them the same education, the same process because when they leave, I want you to leave in a fashion where you know what, whether I got money to work with this guy or not, he going to tell somebody about me.
Yeah.
They going to want to bring somebody and they going to want to help my business and become an advocate for me. So I think more, of course, of our, I'm going to say our black entrepreneurs got to have the approach of like, look, doing enough is not good enough. No. You got to do more. You got to put everything you have into it. And then your work will be reciprocated to you and you'll be blessed. See you in a minute.